So we just got to wait. That's the thing. If the doctor's like, just wait, just keep trying. And it's very weird when you have a medical professional prescribe you sex and everyone's upset. Because I'll be honest with you, I feel like waiting is not something I've been well prepared for. I'm a 33-year-old person. Waiting is not our generation's thing. Like, have you ever ordered something online and they're like, yeah, it'll be 3 to 5 business days? And you're like, you fucking what? Give it to me tomorrow. Exploit somebody so it gets here on time, right? I'm not giving you $12 to not give to them for nothing. I'll be honest, I don't mind the wait. I don't mind the wait just because it's given me time to actually hang out with children, which I hadn't done before. Has anyone else been that person, being like, I think I want kids? Have you ever spent time with them? No. Do you like other people's kids? Fuck no. Do you think you're going to like your kids? Absolutely. Why? Because they're going to have tiny little moustaches. That's why my girls are going to be beautiful, right? To be perfectly honest, I don't mind the wait. I don't mind that it's taken some time because it's given me time to actually hang out with children, which I'd never done before. Because I don't know if you guys can tell by looking at me, people don't ask me to babysit. You know, that doesn't happen. No one ever looks at me and goes, I bet he's good with kids. People look at me and go, I think you might be too good. We should probably keep the kids away from him, just in case, as a precaution. So what we started doing, my wife has got me babysitting her niece and nephew. The niece is 6, the nephew's 4. And I didn't realise how children talk to you because they're quite mean. It's not intentional, they're just very blunt in what they say. One time the niece pointed at my face and goes, what's wrong? And I was like, I didn't think anything, to be honest. I didn't know what to do, so I just tripped her and left. Got to learn a lesson somehow, right? But no, we were hanging out one time, and she challenged me, well, they both challenged me to a joke competition. Now, they don't know I'm a professional joke contestant. They just thought it'd be a fun thing to do, right? They were like, Uncle Dan, do you want to do a joke competition with us? And I was like, fuck yeah. I'm going to destroy you. I'll do my 9/11 shit, I don't give a fuck, right? When it comes to joke competitions, I play to win, And I felt pretty confident going into the joke contest because the 6-year-old, she knows what jokes are, but she doesn't understand how they work, right? She'll be like, hey, Uncle Dan, I got a joke. And I'm like, oh yeah? And she's like, what do you call a girl in the middle of a tennis court? And I'm like, what? And she's like, an ant. That's a joke, right? That works, that's all right, that's not too bad, nice and clean. And then I'll be like, okay, I've got one for you. What do you call a boy with a shovel on his head? And she's like, what? And I'm like, Doug. And she's like, that's shit. And I'm like, oh. I mean, she's 6, she didn't say that shit. She was like, shit joke, cunt. And I was like, oh, all right. But then she was like, Uncle Dan, I've got another one for you. And I was like, all right. And she's like, what do you call a girl with a shovel on her head? And I'm like, what? And she's like, an ant. And I'm like, no, there needs to be a connection, right, between the setup and the punchline, which is obviously a criticism you could level at quite a few Australian comedians. But let's not get into that, Let's just move on from that. So I knew I beat her, right? And I knew I beat the 4-year-old as well, just because he's a fucking moron. Seriously, he's just a dumb kid. I saw this guy get off a trampoline face first. He didn't fall. He got off face first. He was on the trampoline, looked at the ground and was like, that's where I want to go. And just fucking all the way. And it's not just that, he's got a stutter. Come on, it's over. It's a joke contest, he's got a stutter. I don't know if you guys realise, in this business, delivery's everything, right? Let's be realistic. So we're just about to start the joke contest, and the niece is also hosting the joke contest, so she's like, before we start, I need to warm up the crowd. And I was like, good instincts. And then she points at me and she goes, where are you from? And I said, Sydney. And she goes, great, the crowd's warmed up. Have you ever had your career reduced to one sentence? By a fucking 6-year-old? who just nailed the brief. Honestly, I was so rattled, I pulled out of the joke contest. I was like, I'm having an existential crisis, you can get fucked. I left the playground, the other parents were relieved. But no, they do surprise me, because like, I don't know any of the rules when it comes to children. Like, I make all the rookie mistakes. Like, the niece wanted a Coca-Cola late one night, and I was like, absolutely. No, because in my head, I was like, man, it's a Friday, you're not drinking? Good for you. You know, like everyone needs a night off, right? It's just good for you. But the thing that got me was how she like consumed the Coca-Cola. She had like half of it immediately, like chugged it, then just left the rest in the fridge for later. And we were playing in the backyard, and just mid-play, she goes, sorry, Uncle Dan, I'm actually running out of energy. I just need to go inside for a sec. And she walks in the house, opens up the fridge, has a sip of Coke, comes back out and starts telling me about a small business idea. And I was like, man, that is fucking mature, you know? She's only 6, but that is almost exactly how I use Coke. Turns out as you get older, Coke just gets more expensive and less pure. Just like life.